probably the things and you can correct me on this, that you're probably most recognized for would be the New York and Rhode Island statehood quarters?
Yeah, that's one of the things. I don't know if I would be most recognized for that, but...
Is there something you would say tops that, or...?
Yeah, I guess you could say that sort of was like my first big break in the field. Like, every artist or every actor, their first part in a big movie, was their first big break, and I would say that was certainly my equivalent to that.
Which actually clears something up for me. I remember when they were first doing these statehood quarters, the concept for it was that there was going to be someone from each state. Let's say it was a Rhode Island quarter, that it was actually going to be someone from Rhode Island doing the design. But obviously, if you were involved with 3 of them, I know you also were involved in the main quarter.
Right.
Maybe you could clarify how that process actually happened, and how you got involved in the contest, or...
Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit lengthy, but I guess I can start from the way back. I sort of always had this sort of interest in coins in general, and I in college I studied mechanical engineering, got a Bachelor of Science degree in mechanical engineering, and also always liked art and did artwork as a hobby, but spent a significant amount of time doing it. And I decided to put the 3 together, and you get designing and minting coins. But it was around 1998 or so, the government was finally about run out of the Susan B. Anthony dollars that they had made back around 1980, and by about 1998, they decided that they needed to make some more, because they'd finally dispersed the ones that they had. It took them an awfully long time to do it. But so there was various talk about what design might be used, or what subject matter might be used on a new dollar coin.
Okay.
So I kind of got into it, and I had been playing around with some software at the time to do some digital sculpting, and I sort of hacked together some software, and I did a design of a Apollo astronaut on the moon, because I sort of always liked space aviation type themes, and I thought it would be better to have a great accomplishment on the coin rather than some president that we've had
right.
over. So I did this astronaut design, submitted to the Congress and the Mint and whatnot, and actually got some favorable replies. It was on the Coin World front cover a couple times, and seemed to be going places. But shortly after I started that campaign, the decision came out that the new dollar coin was going to have a woman on it, and so that sort of shot down my idea of the Apollo astronaut. But I still wanted sort of a space and aviation theme, so I saw that this committee in Philadelphia was going to meet. The committee consisted of a congressman and the director of the Mint and so on, and a few other folks. And this committee was going to spend 2 days, and they were going to decide at this public meeting what woman was going to be on the coin, or who was going to be on the coin. And the public was allowed to come and make a presentation. So if you had to apply ahead of time and be accepted. So I did that. I applied. I was accepted, and went out there, and I made a presentation for Bessie Coleman, who was an early aviation pioneer. She had her pilot's license before Amelia Earhart, first woman to get an international pilot's license. And that was pretty well received by the committee, but eventually they chose Sacagawea. But the Bessie Coleman idea I had was second place. So we almost had it.
I'm sorry.
We almost had a Bessie Coleman dollar instead of a Sacagawea dollar.
That would have been very interesting. Now, when it's something where it comes in second place, is that an idea they kind of put on the back burner, or?
No, that's not something they're going to say, oh, the next time we make a coin, we'll use that idea. No, it doesn't work that way. Every time they're going to make a new coin, they just start with a clean slate. Except sort of in this case, I think they wanted to continue the tradition since the previous dollar coin had Susan B. Anthony, a woman. They wanted a woman for the new coin. So anyway, I didn't. The Bessie Coleman idea didn't quite make it. It was close, but didn't quite. And then this committee also recommended that the Mint should hold a limited invitation-only design contest for the Sacagawea dollar. Well, I tried to get invited, and I didn't. I thought maybe I would because I was at this committee meeting. I made a presentation, you know, that was well received and whatnot. But I didn't get invited to this in this competition. But I crashed the party anyway, so to speak. And as it turns out, I was the only artist whose work was accepted into this competition who wasn't initially invited.
Wow. Okay.
And so my reverse design with an eagle that I did, the eagle flying in front of the sun, actually became one of 7 finalists for the Sacagawea dollar. But eventually they chose the other eagle, which was done by a mint engraver, sculptor at the time. So I came close on that one, but not quite. Well, then late 1999, it was around the end of October. I guess what happened was, well, by this time the state quarter program had already been underway. And to answer your question about how the state quarter designs were arrived at, it's kind of changed a couple of times throughout the program. But really what the Mint wanted from the states was what they wanted to have on the coin and not what it should look like. The Mint wanted to decide what it looks like. All they wanted to know is what subject matter the state wanted for their coin.
Gotcha. Okay.
So around 1999, late 1999, the Mint needed to start working on the 2001 state quarters, and they were a little bit short-staffed or behind schedule or whatever. So what they decided to do was invite, and they kept this pretty secret, they invited 14 people from outside the Mint, and 10 Mint staff, so 24 people in all, were invited to submit designs for the 5 2001 state quarters. And by the time this happened, they had already been in contact with the states and had obtained from the states, for each state, a list of 3 to 5 suggested themes in written form.
Okay. For
their quarter. And all the 24 artists who were submitting designs for the 2001 state quarters were given those lists, and we were requested to do designs from those themes. And well, as it turned out, I got the invitation in towards the end of October, and we had Halloween, I had a business trip, I had surgery, and there was Thanksgiving in there, and then they were due at the end of November. So less than a month, and I had one weekend to do all 5 of them. So I just started drawing paper and pencils, like, quick and easiest way I could, and I got to be Sunday night, and the last one I hadn't done yet was New York, and I thought, well, I'll better do the easiest thing on the list, which was, they were pretty specific on that one. It said, Statue of Liberty with a state outline and the legend Gateway to Freedom. That was the theme that New York, one of the 5 themes that New York had actually requested for their